we also support individual MS warriors with their own battles, whether it be from a support standpoint or a financial standpoint with a scooter or financial assistance. So that's where funds raised from the organization ultimately go.
I love that. When I read that, I thought that is so important. I love that you do that for the people, the patients that don't have insurance and don't have that ability. And so often, my goodness, a discussion for another day.
Hello, I'm Kathy Chester, and this is Move It or Lose It, a podcast about all things that move the mind, body, spirit, and soul.
Okay, so today I am with Sam from our one of my very favorite things that I've been a part of this year with MS4MS. And so, Sam, I want you today. I was very excited to have you come on with me. So thank you for accepting the invite. I've read so much and learned so much about what you do, but I want you to share, what does stadium to stadium look like, and how does that affect multiple sclerosis?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kathy, for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here and excited to share our story with all of your followers and see if we can make as much of an impact, a positive impact for everybody who's battling MS. So MS4MS, it actually stands for Mission Stadiums for Multiple Sclerosis. I started this organization 10 years ago, actually, when I was finishing college at the time. So a passion of mine was always to be involved in sports. And my grandmother actually suffered from MS for over 30 years. She actually passed away before I was born, but my middle name is actually Lewis and her name was Lois. So I was actually named after her. And I've heard, so many stories from my mom of the struggles that she had. And I always knew I wanted to do something, as I grew up and looked for work and supporting a cause to combine the efforts of focusing in on MS because there's no cure.
I'm sorry to go back, but I'm curious, Sam, how old was your grandmother when she was diagnosed?
So when she was actually diagnosed or when she probably had it is two very different things.
Right, two very different.
So she passed away in 1987. From what my mom has said, she suffered with it for over 30 years. She passed away when she was in her 60s. So she was probably in her 20s when it probably started to be onset, 20s to 30s, which is there's no such thing as standard when it comes to MS, but that's kind of the time frame where a lot of people are diagnosed or at least start to have symptoms.
Yeah.
So that is when her MS journey began, and it kind of spiraled into so many different things because it took over 30 years for them to even diagnose it. So she was suffering with it for a long time, and it's incredible, to see where things are today. There's no cure, but there's steps being made moving forward, which is incredibly important. So like I said, I always had a passion for sports, and I always wanted to give back to a cause. And a personal bucket list goal of mine, actually, as a kid, was to go to all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums. So when I was finishing college, I thought about doing that and maybe raising awareness or raising money for a charity.
Right.
And the more I shared that idea with friends and family, everybody either said, I always wanted to do that, or I know someone that wanted to do that.
Really?
So the more I shared the idea and the concept, I was like, well, I'm a college kid. I could try to take over the world, and let me start my own charity, pick a cause, and combine the two efforts.
Absolutely. So, I'd be like, yes, I'm in.
Yeah. So everybody, and it's a way to, like I said, combine an opportunity to enjoy life, go to a ball game and also give back to an important cause and to people who are affected. So long story short, 10 years later, it's evolved from me wanting to go to stadiums wearing orange to raise awareness to it being a full-blown 501c3 nonprofit organization that uses sports and entertainment as a platform to raise awareness and raise funds.
I want to put linked at the end, so that because it'll be linked to YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Later, So I want a link so I can give all the information out. So.
Yeah, sounds great. And we partner with Johns Hopkins MS Research Center, which is one of the top MS centers in the world, as they're our primary beneficiary of funds raised. And we also support individual MS warriors with their own battles, whether it be from a support standpoint or a financial standpoint with a scooter or financial assistance. So that's where funds raised from the organization ultimately go.
I love that. When I read that, I thought that is so important. I love that you do that for the people, the patients that don't have insurance and don't have that ability. And so often, my goodness, I've a discussion for another day, but my MS journey this last year and going back and forth to different hospitals when I took a turn for the worse, boy, did I see the lack of care. And once you pass and you are difficult and things change, it's like you are really kind of shoved off. And I was like, wow, this is, it was new to me because I've always been able to be very high functioning, play sports, run marathons, coach, train. So it was a new thing for me, but I don't think it's by accident that I've been able to see all of these doctors and be able to put myself in an experience that a lot of our MS warriors go through.
Yep.
Where, I have my struggles, my eyesight, my stuff like that. But I've never been in a wheelchair, and to be able to see and just to be a part of the things this year. And so I think you're right. It is evolving, and I love what you're doing. I love that I was a single mom for a long time of 3 kids with MS, raising them. So I definitely appreciate so much what you're doing. And I know if I would have needed that then, what a blessing that would be.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the best part of what we do is not, that we get to see stadiums or connect with players, stuff like that. It's the impact that we make for those who are affected by it, and just the joy that it brings and the platform that it brings. And, wearing our shirts and our merchandise kind of as a badge of honor is what really resonates and provides us with just that positive feeling of knowing we're making an impact. That's the best thing about what we do.
Can you give me your favorite story of a stadium, something that happened either with one of the MS people that were there or with one of the players?
Yeah. So there's 2 really great ones, but I'll go with the one in Detroit since you're in Michigan. Well, I'll go with the story of 2 years ago when we had an event at Comerica Park. We had almost 100 people there, all wearing orange. And I know the Tigers are orange and blue, but it was a full section of orange, and it was really impactful. And we had a group of 20 of us on the field for batting practice. There was a gentleman there who's been struggling and suffering from MS for many, many years. And unfortunately, his trajectory of the disease was much more significant than many others. He had actually been kind of bedridden for several months and really in a tough position and really struggling. And his grandkids and his daughter and her family were able to get him to the game. And we got him on the field for batting practice. And the look on his face for someone who was bedridden for months, to have that opportunity and to see the joy on his face, to just for 1 hour, 3 hours, whatever it is, to forget about what he's going through and just kind of bring some joy and bring awareness to the cause as well at the same time. We had a player who got us the tickets come over, take a picture with us, and his face just lit up, and that's just a moment and a kind of image that forever resonates with me and also pushes me to do even more. So that's
I bet those things push you when you're tired and it's like I can't do anymore. And I echo that. I know I have those, in my stuff I do, and it's like, okay, I can do this. And you go back to those great memories. So go ahead and give me one with a player.
So that moment with the player coming over.
Who's your favorite player? It's only between you and I. Nobody's going to.
Well, even though this is a podcast for everybody, I think they might catch on. But I am a Yankees fan. I will admit I'm a Yankees fan. And I was biased. We did an event 2 years ago after Comerica where we went to Yankee Stadium. Was able to get connected once again with a player to get us on the field passes. We met the
Awesome.
manager of the Yankees at the time. So that was an experience for me that was kind of like a dream come true as a kid, and to do it with my friends and family there, and also just make an impact for a greater cause at the same time. It was one of the best.
Yeah. Well, come back to Detroit. We'll
Oh yeah.
come.
We already have plans to do so as soon as there's an opportunity. Most likely next year, we're going to get it on the books to do an event once again there. And instead of 100 people, we're going to get, maybe 1,000 people next year. So bigger and better every year. Definitely.
That sounds perfect. So a couple of things what do you think, why did it grow so fast? What do you think was behind that, the growth of it?
I think a combination of, I try to grow our brand and our what we do just in the right light from just a support standpoint. We're not out there to just be all about who we are. We're there to support people with MS. And I really think even just through social media and through posts, like it came across that way, which is what I always envisioned and wanted it to. And the sports aspect, I think, resonates with a lot of people. We don't compete with the MS Society. We complement them. We're our own separate entity, but we operate in a completely different way where, we use sports and entertainment as our platform. And the MS Society, they have the walk and the bike ride, which are all amazing and incredible fundraising initiatives. But I think the sports aspect does really resonate with a lot of people, and it gives it a kind of a fun twist to, support in a different type of way. So I think that's why.
It's the first baseball cap MS one my husband wears. So.
I love it. Yeah, and that's what we love to see. It's a fun way to just raise awareness, support in a way that just resonates with a lot of people.
And what I love too is it's getting people out.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Because so many times, and I have this discussion with a lot of times when you advocate and do a lot of MS speaking, you get a phone call of a newly diagnosed, a lot of times it's a female because our numbers are higher. And it's, it's that fear. It's what if I can't do?
Yep.
So what I do enjoy about what you do and what drew me to that is that I believe being able to get to our younger people that are getting diagnosed so at such a rapid pace than ever before, they are very much eager to be out and to exercise and move. Where it's our older people that are just like, I don't know, back when I was diagnosed, they told me to rest. And so I love that you're doing it. I love that it brings hope for so many, but for so many of our younger people who are diagnosed. My son has MS as well, and he's a huge sports nut. So it's just wonderful on so many levels to see the different ways that different groups are reaching out, and the way that you're doing it is it really is impressive. And I really and I'm a huge sports fan, so I love it. What are some of the experiences that you've had or getting started? Talk to me about how you got it started, and as far as some of the hurdles, the financial stuff, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, no question. It's been a journey. There's no question. Like I said, I actually, I started it 10 years ago, and I was just a college kid at the time. And when I began it, I thought I could just start a charity and go from there. And the reality was, unless a charity is a multi-million-dollar charity, that, can't be your full-time job. Like, you need to make actual money to live. So, I had to go through the hurdles.
Now, trying to figure out, how do I do this thing?
Exactly. And this is still very much a volunteer effort for me, but it's grown into, an incredible opportunity to help so many. I am a full-time energy advisor for my job, actually, and I do this work on the side. So this complements kind of my day-to-day, but more and more time is certainly being focused on MS4MS, which is great. But the hurdles were, it actually took 2 years in the very beginning to get approved through the IRS to be a tax-exempt nonprofit. So that process actually took a lot of the momentum and the speed from the beginning growth, kind of away from the organization. I graduated, and all the kids that were coming to meetings in my college dorm room who were all in on this idea then graduated, got a real job, and then I was all alone. And then I had to get a real job. So I like to say for the first 7 years, I kind of kept it afloat. I went to games with my friends and family. I wore the shirts. I spread awareness. I raised some money here and there.
Even in those 7 years. And I think that's important, Sam, that you note that, because, you know, some of our college kids, some of our younger kids can think, I'm going to start this and it should be like on fire tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to explain that it didn't happen overnight for you. And you kept going, you kept at it. You went to those meetings, even when there wasn't a lot of support yet. So like, hand clap for that. That's awesome.
And, you know, I learned a lot and made a lot of great connections throughout those 7 years as well. You know, we started with partnering with Yale MS Research Center because I was located in Connecticut. And then when I moved to Maryland, that's when I repositioned and reconnected with Johns Hopkins. But yeah, I filed the tax exempt paperwork every year for 7 years. I updated the website whenever I could. I went to a game. I did a fundraiser here or there. You know, we raised, $2,000, $3,000. And then over the last 3 years, we've done close to $200,000 in funds raised because of the momentum and the experience that I have from a professional career to grow this the way I always dreamed of, and to network. And social media can be a very weird, creepy thing. However, there's a lot of positives that come from it if you look for them. So, I would honestly say, if it wasn't for me putting myself out there and connecting with social media and, people like yourself and a gentleman in Canada who's our ambassador now, like all of these. His name's Julian Uccello. He was a professional soccer player in Europe, and he actually was diagnosed with MS, and it drastically altered his career. Forced the team, didn't force, but the team found out about his diagnosis, released him immediately, and he struggled quickly after. And now we partner with him to use his platform to raise awareness. He just raised $25,000 with an event a few weeks ago where he did his own, we called it Julian's Journey, where he walked 2 kilometers every day. He's bound to a cane, and he's in his mid-30s at this point. So his life has changed, but he's now found a new meaning to what he's doing right now. And there's, athletes and just people who have MS who are ambassadors and supporters of the organization who have, taken this on as a challenge to say, you know what, like you said, I'm going to get ahead of it. I'm not going to sit back and just wait to be in a wheelchair. I'm going to get ahead of this. And that's also why it's resonated so much with so many people.
Yeah. And I exactly to your point, I think when they're able to see someone, and I can say, again, symptoms versus diagnosis. Symptoms, that's sometimes it's lack of knowledge back then, but, I didn't do doctors. I was always healthy, and I figured sprain something, pinch nerve. But I do absolutely think that this is a perfect time. Did you find more growth and more excitement during 2020 that people were checked in?
We had to get more creative. There's no question, because the year before we hosted 4 or 5 different events at stadiums, and all of a sudden everybody was home. So for myself, I, made a lot more, really devoted a lot of my time to awareness. So we connected with a lot of professional baseball players who wore our shirts at the stadium on the field, even though there was no fans there. So we really focused on the awareness piece last year rather than heavy fundraising, especially because everyone was financially impacted and there's a harder position to give last year also. So, people were definitely tuned in, but the more our outreach, the more outreach that we have and the more followers we have, the more people who are just learning about what we do, and it's quickly spreading. So that's why we have, over 7,000 people on Instagram now. And, it's just kind of endless opportunity to help people.
Hey, I got to 1,700. I was super excited. So you don't have to brag.
Oh yeah. It's, it's, like I said, kids, you mentioned kids these days think kind of success is overnight because they're used to being in the middle of social media, and if they make a post about their day, they get 1,000 likes and stuff like that. And it's a different world, there's no question, and there's an opportunity to leverage that. But there is an interesting false sense of success from an early age, because it's so at their fingertips. But that's not to say it won't happen.
When it comes to our younger people who are newly diagnosed, what's the first thing they're on? They're on social media, Instagram. And I can think during 2020 for me, finishing up all my certifications that I needed, that I had an opportunity for with MS and autoimmune stuff, was all the hackers and all the people that were taking money from people that, and I could just picture these really sick patients, just sending them money, and not having a clue, and watching this thinking nothing you did was right at all for this patient. So I see a lot of, like you said, the bad and the good. The people that really take advantage of not just MS, but a lot of the other autoimmune diseases. But I see that, and I think that that's why it was another reason I was so drawn to what you were doing, because it is giving so much to the community. And when looking at social media more than I ever would in 2020, it would usually be posting for my business, posting for the gym. And it became looking at, everything you guys were doing, and it was like, it's just been so awesome. But I do want to ask you, moving forward, tell me about, what do you think what do we have to look forward?
It's exciting, because it definitely is still very much just the beginning of our impact and our growth of what we're doing. We've created an internal advisory board, as well as an internal team to help grow the right way, and to create the connections and build this into something that's just going to help so many more people, which is the best part of it all. But one of the angles we've kind of turned into this year was, originally, it was, like I said, I started it with baseball, then it evolved into all sports and all stadiums. And now we're actually pivoting into sports and entertainment. So we're evolving into, the music industry, theater, music, just anything that,
and Usher,
everything, and, anything that can be a platform to raise awareness and get people out, enjoy themselves, and have a good time. That's what we're going to do. And that's what we're going to get creative in growing. And we just, are working with a musician in Las Vegas to get his band involved and do a concert and an awareness concert and all that type of stuff as well. So we kind of have all bases covered.
And
oh, awesome. Yeah, we can work together then. That's perfect.
He's gonna punch me. So
well, if he wants to,
nobody's ever asked me to sing, ever.
Well, yeah, so that's where we're headed. I'm excited to get back to stadiums when we can do that.
Hey, if you want some Motown, you know where we are. Come down and see us.
100%. And we're also, to your point previously, of it's a lot of the younger generation who needs the awareness piece and needs the information. We are going to focus a lot of our efforts on fraternities and sororities and colleges, and partnering with them to grow our mission, to host different fundraising competition events and get stadiums involved that way. There's a few ideas that we have to really grow this and combine our efforts on their focus, while also kind of getting everybody involved, but having that be our target market of a lot of our primary fundraising efforts. Because also from a philanthropy standpoint in college, they have to fundraise throughout the year. So there's a lot of alignment between our efforts and their interests, between what we can do together.
Love that. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I'd love to get involved in that. Love that. Sure. Really, really good. Yeah. So what else do we got going?
I mean, that'll keep me busy for sure, for the next few years. But like I said, we're growing, we're making connections. Even just yesterday, I spoke with someone in the UK who is a female professional basketball player, and she was recently diagnosed, and I connected her with our soccer ambassador so she can share her stories and have somebody to connect with. And that type of stuff is happening, every day. We're working with a football player whose mom had MS when we're looking at an event in Texas. So there's so many different things and avenues that people want to get involved in and support, and it's a platform to do so. And
So, Sam, to that point, share with the listeners how they can get involved.
Yeah. So our website was just completely revamped and redesigned. MS4MS.org. All information is there in terms of our upcoming events.
Don't get worried, guys. It'll be in the site. It'll be in the show notes. Don't stress.
Perfect. And so on there, we made our website with a focus of having it be fun and informative, a little bit of both. So we have a lot of information on MS, facts about MS. We have one of my favorite pages on the website is called My MS Story, where MS warriors share in their own words their journey. And that's where you can read. I think there's over 30 plus people with MS.
I think I just did mine and sent it to you guys. So yeah. I was reading those. Exactly. I mean, really, really good.
And it resonates with so many people, which is so important at the same time, just to say, you know what, I'm not alone. I get it. Somebody understands what I've been trying to say. The doctors haven't said that it's this or that, but finally somebody gets me. And that's that aha moment that a lot of people come and say, hey, just thank you for sharing. And that's what we like to do. So our website is the main point of contact. From there, you can get in contact with me. Follow all of our social media pages. It's MS_4_MS for all of our social media pages there. And like I said, if anybody wants to get involved or you just connect with us and on anything, fundraising, connections.
Fundraising, and what would you say your biggest needs are right now for people to jump in?
I mean, however they want to get involved is we're open to that. And that's the biggest thing also, is that everybody who has MS, from what I've learned, everybody's very different. Some people like to I want to be the face of this and get out there and share it. Some people like to, behind closed doors, read about stories and connect internally. And both of those are completely fine. So, fundraising is a huge thing. We like to, try to provide as much support for Johns Hopkins MS Research Center as possible, and also donate to people in need and give wheelchairs wherever possible, or a cane, or whatever it might be, or just pay their groceries for a month. Whatever it might mean, that helps.
One thing, Sam, I would say to you that might be really cool in your giveaways is one of the things that really frustrated me, and I am curious, and I'll ask this on a podcast, with an MS neurologist, but I was stunned when I went to get a cane during 2020. It was the first time. I was nervous. I went to the hospital store, that's here, and I go in and they just said, pick one. I had never used one. I didn't know how to walk with it. I mean, I'm like thinking of the show, remember House? Dr. House.
Oh, yeah.
He walked, but he was very aggressive. So the lack of understanding even how to use a cane would be awesome to show. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know how to use it.
Exactly. And we have a contact page on the website where people can just provide any sort of input or feedback or things they want to know or people they want to connect with. So it's definitely all there, and anything that we can do to address the needs of those with MS, that's our main mission.
And then, like I said, what are some things that we could list that you are in need of now, moving forward in this next phase with entertainment this next year? What would you say your biggest request would be?
I would say involvement with our events that are coming up. And just, sharing of social media, it's such a big impact right now, especially while things are just starting to grow again. Having people with large followings reshare what we're doing and get the word out there of our organization. I think as that continues to grow, the fundraising dollars will come. We don't like to push that, in people's face. If they can give, we're very, fortunate that they can. But we want to get the word out there of what we do and the impact that we're making, and have more of those moments where people say, thank you, like I can connect with that. And I've been waiting for something like that. So I would just say, share away, tell people about it in conversation. Merchandise, I think that's one of the biggest things right now to help us get the word out of who we are. Even just, I wear my hat wherever I go, and people are like, what is that? And that's the point. It brings up the conversation.
So when did you start, and this is my own, I'm asking this for personal reasons as well. When did you start, was it in that first 7 years that you started to get your merchandise and stuff going so people had some swag?
Yeah, we always had some stuff in the very beginning.
Anytime a gym owner had swag, sorry.
Yeah, in the very beginning, but last year, like I said, I knew that the organization was ready for that next step where we worked with a graphic designer and rebranded our logo. We rebranded our website. And now it kind of looks like we know what we're doing, which is good. We're headed in the right direction.
Can you help me?
Exactly. So yeah, we always had some stuff. And I have like 4 or 5 hats that kind of show the evolution of our logo and our brand over the years, which is fun.
It's one you have that I have now, my favorite.
Yeah, and that's the most recent. That's the one we're going with moving forward as kind of our brand. And also, fun fact is the navy blue that is incorporated in what we do is actually the main color for Johns Hopkins. So it integrates orange with MS awareness with Johns Hopkins as the navy blue.
That's awesome.
They complement each other really well.
Yeah, I love that. Be putting that in there. Well, I definitely want anything else that you can think of. I want to be able to help out and send out information so that when people see it and they want to get involved, you've given me a way to connect with you so people can connect.
No, it's great. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, like I said, if anyone wants any merchandise, is a great place to start just to raise awareness. We have orange shirts. We have the tank top that you're wearing.
The hats are awesome. Exactly. And the tank tops are super cool. Yeah. And the stickers. Bumper and where is it? Wait for it. My MS bracelet. I am decked out today.
You're the main supporter. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Move It or Lose It podcast, where you can again find us every Tuesday, and also wherever you like your podcast, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. Join us on that, and we can't wait to see you again. We're going to have a lot of exciting guests and working together. And as always, you'll hear us say at the end of every podcast, we are stronger together. So let's do it. Let's become stronger together.